Your conference is being recorded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bharati, moderator for the conference call. Welcome to Gayatri Projects Limited Q4 FY21 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participants will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone telephone. Please note, this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Ms. Sheetal Kanduja of Go India Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bharti. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gayatri Project Limited's earnings. We must remind you that the discussion on today's call may include certain forward-looking statements and must be therefore viewed in conjunction with the risks that the company faces. May I now request Mr. Reddy to take us through the company's business outlook and financial highlights, subsequent to which we will open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sheetal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking out time to join us for our FY21 earnings call. I hope you and your family members are safe and healthy. This was indeed a tough year on account of COVID pandemic. However, we are very happy with our operational and financial performance despite a tough time. I am happy to report that we have surpassed our full year guidance of a flattish revenue growth. Our revenue was up 14% and it was primarily driven by strong execution at our site, which is near completion. Our Purvanchal Expressway project is almost near completion and should be handed over to the authorities in the next 3 to 5 months. And we are hopeful that we should be eligible for an early completion bonus for the project. We are also started booking revenues in some of the districts of UP Jal Jeevan Mission, which is a new era of growth for us. While we were able to bounce back from the early wave of COVID, the second wave of COVID has impacted our sites significantly. We had to shut some of our sites as we had an outbreak of this project. I will now briefly touch upon our financial performance. Our balance sheet was significantly strengthened this quarter, while net debt is up a bit given severe cash flow challenges early in the year on account of COVID lockdowns. We have reduced our long-term debt by 25% in FY21. The cash flow situations, while it has eased from H1 FY21, it continues to remain challenging. We are taking multiple steps to ensure our liquidity eases. There's also been a significant interest cost reduction on account of our negotiations with banks, and we were able to reduce our interest cost by over 250 basis points. We maintain a strong order book of 13,000 crores, and our book-to-bill ratio remains high at over 3x. Our strong project pipeline gives us a good revenue visibility. Our EBITDA grew 2 times over last year, but our margins are significantly impacted because of our high raw material cost. Our contracts have metal indexation policy, but that works with a 3 to 4 month lag. Hence, any sharp rise in raw material prices will impact our gross margins in the short term. However, we've been able to maintain our full year margins at 12%. Before I came to our FY22 guidance, I would like to discuss about the NHAI announcement which came last week. I'm sure all of you would have seen the press release we issued. The issue was at our site in Sultanpur, Varanasi, where we have been working from 2016. Out of the total 138 kilometer section, 4 laning has been completed for 129 kilometers, which is 93% of the project. And basically this is a concrete pavement project, PQC project. At this particular site, we received land in a very patchy manner and with significant delays, and this had a large impact on project delivery and timelines. There have been issues of some pending payments by NHAI, and because of the same work at sites had to be stopped. Cracks have developed over 3 kilometer stretch out of the total 138 kilometer section. Defects have come up beyond defect liability period and at a road which is seeing heavy vehicular movement. We are working on sorting out these cracks and signages and other technical issues and expect to resolve this with the authorities over the next 2 to 3 months. While we have raised objections against this order, we are engaged with NHAI to get the same resolved. FY22 guidance. FY22 will see an impact of weak Q1 on account of shutdowns due to COVID second wave, but we should be able to at least maintain similar revenues. We also expect to achieve EBITDA margins in the range of 13 to 14%. With this, I will open the floor for questions.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and one again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. First question comes from Anil Sharma from AB Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
So you were mentioning about the NHAI issue that has recently come up. So I just want to seek some clarification in regards to the resolution process for that particular issue. And is there, any kind of an impact that you foresee on your scheduled payments from NHAI?
No, not at all. See, the only impact, what they have said in the NHAI letter is that I think the press has blown this out of proportion by calling debarment and all these things. It is actually, as per the new policy, they just said you would be not allowed to bid till you rectify these things. So they have given us time to rectify those cracks, and once we do that, they will normalize the procedure. Till that time, we cannot bid and participate in any of the future NHAI projects. That's it. So we hope to resolve this in the next couple of months actually.
Okay, it will take around a couple of months.
Any future projects which we are hoping to bid. But our existing order book is 13,000 crores, which we are comfortable for at least next 6 to 8 months.
Okay, so 13,000 crores. So any kind of a inflow guidance that you'd like to provide for this year also?
Well, order inflow would be around 3,000 to 4,000 crores is our order inflow we are executing. And also if you look at the schedule, none of the tendering is happening I think most of the tender will happen in the third quarter. Because of the COVID, the first quarter, nothing has moved actually. So most of the tenders are all postponed or nothing is happening actually. I think the main momentum of tendering will start only from September onwards. Hopefully by then we would be able to resolve this issue.
Okay. And sir, lastly, one more thing I wanted to check. So due to the prevailing, conditions, due to the second wave of COVID, so are you seeing any kind of, labor shortages at your sites? Or
Yeah, there was a labor shortage definitely in the month of April and May, because that is a peak season. For example, it all depends on area to area. We are working in Maharashtra, in my UP, where a lot of labor migrant labor have run away. That was about 40% of the labor had actually gone away to their hometowns when this COVID wave started. Actually, and now slowly they're coming back.
What's the position right now, sir? Yeah.
Now I think they're slowly coming back, but now the monsoon will start, so June month also will get affected. So I think like last time, it is not as bad as last time, probably, where there was a complete lockdown for about nearly 1.5 months. Here, April and May work went on, but not at the full as a FY21 fourth quarter level. We could not work.
Okay. Okay, sir. Then thanks for the opportunity. I'll get back if I'll need to ask any further questions. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Manvesh Barang from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
So my question is regards to that NHAI order.
Yeah.
So NHAI would have at least given some timeline to rectify before issuing this order.
No, they actually...
Was there any deficiency from our end which resulted
No, there was no deficiency. It is just a perception issue. Basically, the NHAI had done this audit in February, then we had actually done a study from IIT, BHU, and in the month of May, NHAI gave us a notice to complete. We were going to start it because of COVID, the entire site was stopped. And because of this, somehow NHAI, in their own wisdom, tried to, I think it depends on the officer on the site actually.
So how is the situation, sir, labor situation?
So we have started rectifying that. The order is very clear. In fact, the press has actually blown it out of proportion. Debarment and as though it's the end of the world. Actually, if you see, the order is very clear. They said that we have given you a notice in May, and we are not happy with your reply. So we will stop you from participating until you rectify this. So once we rectify it, the whole issue will get sorted out. So and we have already started the rectification process.
Because they are just over 3 kilometers, should not take much time, right? So we can expect
that. It's 3 kilometers, but then it's a few panels. It's not single 3 kilometers. Whole stretch, a few panels have to be rectified, few panels have to be removed. So then traffic diversion. It takes about a couple of months to do that. It's a concrete pavement. Even after I rectify, it takes 28 days of curing before I can even let the traffic move on that.
Okay. Sir, the next question is regarding the receivables. So what is our receivables position as of FY21, and how much have we provided for? Were there any bad debts which were written off this?
No, we haven't provided any bad debts. Our receivables are all delayed because from the clients like Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka, and then state government. Receivable irrigation projects have been along this year actually.
What would be the amount, or in terms of days of this?
I think at least 300 to 400 crores minimum. Above 400 crores.
600 crores from state governments.
And sir, what are the debt reduction plans this year, and how much have reduced in FY21?
So we have reduced our term loan in FY21, and the debt reduction is, as I told you, is to continue with the term loan reduction. We hope to become debt free in the next 2 years, at least the long term debt, and then working capital will continue.
Okay, sir, that's it from my side. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Prem Khurana from Anarati Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question, sir. So on this, the issue at hand, given the fact that we would be required to kind of
Some disturbance, Mr. Prem.
Am I audible now?
No, I still can't hear you.
Mr. Prem, sorry to interrupt, sir. Can you join back the queue, sir? We will check your line.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Shinaya Nair from Fortune Wealth Advisory. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, of course.
Sir, can you tell us more about the debt reduction plans you are targeting this year?
So as I told you, debt reduction plan is, our long-term debt is only 500 crores. We are hoping to reduce in the next couple of years. So our regular repayment plan is continuing as per our debt reduction. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you. What is the status of execution at your waterworks project?
We have just started. See, we have 2 levels of waterworks. We have phase 1 waterworks, which are basically direct 3 projects, which we are already started executing the last quarter. Then we have the other number of villages are about 1800 villages, what we call. We are actually doing the study. We have to submit the DPRs. Once the DPRs are accepted, then we have to sign the agreement for those, for the final value, and then we would start executing. So those, because of COVID, I think we have completed the studies, but the government side, there's been a couple of months delay. Because as you say, April and May, practically the UP government was paralyzed because of COVID.
Okay. So can you tell us more about the working capital days and the working capital debt you currently have?
Working capital debt is around 1,300 crores, 1,400 crores.
Okay, sir. And sir, question, what amount can we expect from awards and claims in FY22?
FY22?
Yes,
we are expecting at least minimum 1 minute. FY22. About 240 crores we are expecting this year.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
total
much.
arbitration claims of nearly 854 crores, out of which over 200 plus we are expecting this year and balance in the next 2 years. So all have been delayed because some of our claims are in the various stages of a legal thing in courts. Unfortunately, the courts have been actually very, very slow in moving because of the COVID situation.
Okay.
But we are actively working with NHAI for some of the awards, under the reconciliation mechanism which NHAI has adopted. So that's why we are confident of, resolving some early this year.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Mr. Vikram Damani from Damani Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Am I audible? So I had a question. Given your reduction in interest by 250 bips, what are we expecting to pay as interest this year?
Sorry? Can you just repeat it?
In the opening remarks, you mentioned that we have renegotiated our debt.
Yeah, we were able to reduce some interest by about 2.5% on the working capital.
Any guidance on what we might expect to pay as interest for the year?
It will be more or less 11%. No, interest. No, you want the interest amount or amount of interest what you are going to pay?
The absolute amount of interest.
Absolute amount of interest would be total value. What is the value? This year we have paid about 300 crores of interest, 320. It could as you expect that we are expecting the about nearly 200 crores of repayment. So I'm sure the interest will come down to between 250 and 275.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. My other question was asked earlier. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Next question comes from Manish Dhariwal from Fiducia Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Very good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. See, my question is of a little longer duration in the sense that I would like to get from you a perspective of how do you see this organization coming back into good profitability, what you call parameters that it used to be in 13 and 14, where the margins used to be 25% upwards. And so, what is your longer term trajectory on how you plan to take this organization levels?
No, that's what I'm saying. See, as I told you, we are always a diversified group in the sense that the irrigation projects always have much higher margins compared to road projects. And but it's a mix of things. See, road projects are basically NHAI and highly competitive and EPC projects where they are much more capital intensive and all that. So where the margins are much lower. But then you have certainty of payments. But the problem in the risk in irrigation projects is that the margins are much higher. But being state government projects, the payments are very lumpy. So it always a strain on the balance sheet. So we always try to balance out both. And now we are looking at water as a big thrust area in future. As you know, we have just entered this Jal Jeevan Mission thing, and only in UP. And after that, we are going to start going to other things. Like now, maybe going forward, our percentage of the road division will come down, water division will go up, and also the other area where we look at future is industrial projects, where I think the last 5 years there were no much industrial projects which have come. There is no capex cycle in India. But now that that steel, I was reading somewhere that 25 years steel industry has to double, cement, and a lot of investments are going to happen. So there again we'll have opportunity to start working on greenfield projects. There we'll have good margin. So we will look at again entering into those. And the fourth area we're looking at is urban infrastructure, like where you have much more technical and skill required, where the margins are better in terms. That's why we were able to get this Delhi-Saharanpur road, which is about 9-kilometer elevated expressway from NHAI, where it is not a pure road. So there we were able to win against competition at a better margin actually. So I think going forward, this year would still be challenging, but FY23, I think by the time our water projects will be a major thrust for us, we will come back to better profitability then.
So now, could you also just give us a flavor of, how you are taking these, capital allocation decisions? Because if one looks at your notes to accounts, the decisions of monies having been given to subsidiary companies, hotel companies, and those money.
That is all history. That's what I'm saying. We were in 2010 to 12 when we entered into BOT projects and power project and investments. All that affected our balance sheet. So now from 15-16 onwards, we have stopped investing at all. So our only aim is to improve the balance sheet and return the money back. But unfortunately, we were a little delayed in monetizing those assets. But some of our road assets are now going to get monetized. In fact, we have a few annuity assets which now come to the tail end period where the money will come back. And also we were able to right size one of our other road projects. Recently we sold majority stake to Kotak in HKR Roadways, and Kotak is now funding the completion of the project. We need to complete the project, spend some more capex. So after that, we'll be able to exit that project and return all the investment what we have made. So that way, I think next 2 years, 3 things are going to happen. We are going to improve margins by getting into other value-added construction projects, and we would never go any more into any investment projects. As you can see, we are never bid even for the HAM projects, even though the entire market is going for HAM. We don't believe HAM as a capital allocation is the right thing. It's a short-term thing, but long-term capital allocation on HAM will always be lower return on investment. And coming to balance sheet improvement is the other thing which will bring us back to the better glory, which we hope that next 2 years, 3 things can improve our balance sheet. 1, divestment of all the assets. 2, getting back our claims.
Okay. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. And first question is, which are the projects which are likely to contribute meaningfully to FY22, and how much you expect the revenue run rate from UP Jal Jeevan Mission in FY22?
No, FY22, I think about 20% of our revenue would be from UP Jal Mission. See, as I told you, this 800 crores of job has to be more or less completed, 60-70% here, and then we are going to win the other things. So maybe about nearly 30% of our revenue would be from UP Jal Jeevan in this year, FY22.
And how do you see FY23 panning out given the current order book? Do you expect 15-20% growth, or it could be higher than that?
FY22 we would expect at least 15% growth.
So FY23
expectation? 23.
Oh, 20% growth over FY22, which is flat, right?
Yeah. I think we are expecting a flattish, unless we can really rebound quicker in the second half.
Sure. Understood, sir. And sir, lastly on the order pipeline, what is the kind of order is available from the state side, especially in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, or any of the states which are targeting now?
No, we don't target much in Telangana. Telangana, there's not much of any order inflow coming now. And Andhra, they're calling for a few projects, but we are still selectively looking because their funds are terrible in Andhra. There's no money at all. So we are concentrating in other states too. Karnataka, maybe Tamil Nadu is coming out with a few projects. And also, then NHAI pipeline is always there. And then we are looking at Jal Jeevan Mission and also looking at urban infrastructure like elevated roads and metros and all that. I think all that more guidance will come after third quarter of this year. This whole COVID has affected till September, if you can see.
How do you see the metro pipeline, sir? Yeah.
Sorry?
Metro pipeline currently. Do you think we have enough on the board, enough on the radar for us to qualify and participate?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, the bids. I didn't understand your question.
No, so my question was how does the metro pipeline is looking at this point of time where we can qualify?
No, we don't qualify directly in metro, so we were trying to form a joint ventures. But also, we could qualify to a metro after about 6 months ourselves, because we are completing one elevated aqueduct in our irrigation project. Once we do that, we would be eligible for metro. So that's why we are looking probably after December bidding for metros ourselves.
Okay, anything on the Jal Jeevan Mission side apart from UP, which is on the cards? I think MP is coming up, right?
Yeah,
MP, Rajasthan.
Every state has, but we have selected UP because funding is the most important. In the Jal Jeevan Mission, again being a state government subject, it's very selective to take with proper funded projects because otherwise it becomes a lot of problem.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Prem Khurana from Anand Rathi Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
So two questions. So one was on this NHAI issue that we have. I mean, essentially, you would be required to kind of carry out this rectification work now.
Yeah.
Would this be compensated, or I mean, it will come to impact our margins this year?
Sorry?
And what kind? So the rectification work that you carry out of almost around 3 odd kilometers, fair to assume, I mean, we will have to spend this money from our pocket and the government authority won't compensate this?
No, that's hardly anything. Yeah? The whole rectification won't cost a few lakhs. That's it.
Okay, so it won't be material, which is where you would still be able to maintain our numbers in terms of margins.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second one on the pledge, I mean, we've been reducing our debt, but for some reason, I mean, the pledge is still the same. So if you could help us understand, when do you expect this to come down substantially? Because the last part of the
most of our thing is pledged to our existing bankers. Because historically, for what reason so we are not really pledged against and taken any margin funding. Actually, it is mostly most of the pledges to the bankers of the company itself. So they are more like a collateral security.
Okay, this would be secondary collateral that you have given in addition to the fund. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. And also, if you can help us understand the way the commodity price have gone up in the recent past.
Yeah, because actually, commodities are actually a very strong issue because, steel has gone up from 40,000 to 60,000. Steel, cement and diesel have gone up tremendously. And in fact, most of our NHAI projects, we have a pass-through of all these commodities, but the index, basically the index is about 1 quarter before is used. So when that quarter which it actually goes up, we don't get compensated. But then ultimately it gets adjusted. So that's why that actually hit us in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so you're saying essentially, I mean, there could be a situation wherein Q1 could still be weak or even Q2 could still be weak in terms of margin, but H2 would again, they could buy then and the index would have adjusted to the new prices and therefore would be able to.
It keeps fluctuating. The index doesn't fluctuate so currently. Sometimes index doesn't grow as much as the sudden spike in the steel price.
Which is what I want to understand, because generally most of the time what I've seen is you generally don't get to have this kind of run-up reflect in the indices. I mean, does it mean your contingencies, and you would have to kind of delve into your contingencies to be able to compensate for this?
But normally we assume that when there's a general escalation, it doesn't matter too much. But this time was a tremendous hike, right? Steel has gone up nearly by 50%.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Maheshwari, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
With respect to this NHAI episode, I mean as of now, the current order. I mean, we can't. This particular episode with NHAI. How long are we going to take to rectify this?
About 2 months.
About 2 months. So we would qualify for further orders only after 2 months, right?
Yes. Only NHAI orders.
Oh, yes, exactly. NHAI order.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said that we are going to a margin guidance of 13 to 14%, right? For the current quarter, the contemporary quarter, our margins are 8%, right?
8%?
8% for the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
So 13 to 14% margins, are we going to?
EBITDA margin. EBITDA was 13, 14, but EBITDA in this quarter, fourth quarter was how much?
8%.
7%. Not 8%.
But it is.
Whole year was 12.
So EBITDA for the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So we calculated it as 8%, and that is what it is mentioned in your investor pitch as well.
Yes, it is. I think we'll clarify back to you. I'm sorry.
So, sir, as you said that we are going to maintain a 13 to 14% EBITDA trajectory, margin trajectory. Are we right to achieve this from the first quarter itself? FY22?
Maybe not. First quarter may be lower, and then maybe it'll jack up, because first quarter definitely, because of the pandemic, I think definitely the margins also will be lower first quarter, I think.
So input cost is going to going to be there for in the first, that is going to precipitate in the first quarter also, right?
Overheads. The first quarter definitely lockdowns and all that overheads are more.
Okay. So from second quarter, can we expect that from second quarter we are going to attain this?
Yeah, second quarter will be good. Yes.
And so Jal Jeevan Mission, this is one of the bestest opportunity that we have right now.
Yes.
So in Jal Jeevan Mission, what is the total address? I mean, what is you know, by and large, what is the total opportunity that we are kind of envisaging here right now?
No, we have 800 crores under execution. We are hoping to get around, once we complete the DPRs, I think it could estimate to be around 3,000 crores, 3 to 4,000, which itself, I think, in the next 2 years we have to complete.
Okay. So 3 to 4,000 crores of top line we are going to achieve from Jal Jeevan Mission, right?
The further Jal Jeevan Mission projects will be added to our order book and which has to be executed in the next 2 years.
Okay. Okay, sir. And so, how do you see your order book? In your opening remarks, as you mentioned that in the first 2 quarters there is not going to be any they are not going to get any orders, right?
No, first quarter is anyway over here, and the second quarter also I don't see any tenders which is even scheduled, because still everybody is dealing from COVID and coming out all the lockdowns. I think a lot of the states are still having the problems. So I think the main order book will start only again. The pipeline will start only after September, October. So the last 2 quarters only.
Our total debt is about 1,850 crores, right? 55 crores.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Out of that, you had mentioned to one of the participants before, 500 crores is long-term debt, is it?
It's a term debt, and the balance is about working capital.
Okay, and we are going to reduce debt in next 2 years to zero.
Yeah, the term debt we are trying to reduce it to zero in next 2 years. Term debt, yeah.
So working capital debt is going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Preeti Singh from Value Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. What other projects are getting completed besides the Purvanchal Expressway?
This year, the major project completed this year would be Purvanchal Expressway and a couple of other smaller projects, Andhra, Tamil Nadu border project, and I think some of our couple of Orissa projects may get over this year. Yeah, Katakangul project.
Okay, and what is the status on the resolution of Sai Mata Rani Road project?
Yeah, that we are in the reconciliation with NHAI. They have actually paid some amount to the banks as a termination payment, which is much less than the actual termination. So termination and claims are still under resolution. We are hoping that in the next quarter we'll be able to get the resolution on the Sai Mata Rani project.
Okay, and what is your strategy post debt restructuring with regard to Hyderabad Karimnagar Road project?
So Hyderabad Karimnagar Road project have already done the one-time settlement with the banks. Now the debt has been resized from 1,400 crores to about 700, and we need to spend about 200 crores on capex. Hopefully in next 1.5 years we are going to complete with the revenues what we get from the project. Then when we achieve the full COD, next year we will look at exiting that project.
Oh, okay. And last question, when can we get our default credit rating changed?
Once this improvement in, I think, next 2 quarters, once our liquidity provision improves, state governments have to pay us. See, we are because we are not in on time payment, because a lot of money is blocked with the state governments. We are in the default rating.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. Next, we have a follow-up question from Maheshwari, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
So for FY22, our guidance is 15% for
No.
revenue
EBITDA margin is 13%, 13 to 14, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
And FY22, is going to be flat?
Yeah, the revenue may be flat because, as I told you, the first quarter is going to be, I think, quite affected. And the second quarter is again the monsoon. See, it all depends again how good the monsoon is. It's difficult to predict today.
So if our revenues are going to remain flat for the entire year, how are we going to attain this margin trajectory of 13-14%?
Depends,
in the first quarter, it is just not feasible and possible. I mean, from second quarter onwards, you'll get there. But how?
No, because some of the projects are all starting now. These water projects have higher margins, so they are going to start.
Okay.
So these are new projects we have, and the new project what we won will start revenues. It's a mix of margins. See, some projects are in the completion stage. So sometimes, a lot of projects in the end project margin will be much better because mostly all the road furniture and bought-out items are there, where you require much of less effort and less overheads on that. So your margin is much higher on those items. So it blends out like that.
So what is the quantum of water order that we are executing right now where we have higher margins?
Today we have 800 crores, but we are expecting in the next 2 quarters up to 3,000 crores. We have already won the order. We are doing the study. It's a very two-stage process. We have won the order for about 1,800 villages, which would translate into 2,500 to 3,000. We are in the final stage of finalizing the DPR of these villages. The DPR, once it's finalized and accepted, then the order will be, then agreement will be entered into for that amount, and then the execution starts.
So this is going to take some time, right?
No, it happened I think it will start from July onwards. We are delayed by a quarter.
Okay. So what is our arbitration claim amounted to? Total arbitration claim?
Claims are about 800 crores.
Okay. And out of which, how are we?
200 this year, and then the next 2 years the balance.
The next year the balance.
The way the courts in this country work. So a lot of our arbitrations are stuck in the courts.
Right. So for interest cost for the quarter was, for the entire year was 320 crores.
Yeah.
So our interest costs are going to reduce, right? Only.
Yeah, it will reduce. Obviously, with the debt reduction, interest costs will keep reducing.
So this year itself, we are going to completely retire our long-term debt, right? For in FY22 itself.
2 years, not this year. 2 years from now.
Sir, in balance sheet, there was one of the items, financial liabilities has increased dramatically from 900 crores to 1340 crores. What is this attributed to?
Which one? The balance sheet.
In the balance sheet, other financial liabilities has increased dramatically from 920 crores odd to 1340 crores.
This is other financial liability.
It has come down actually. It used to be down. It has come down to 919 here.
It's come down.
Other financial liabilities.
From 1339 to
1339 to 919.
Yes. Sorry. I'm extremely sorry, sir. I'm extremely sorry. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and one on your telephone keypad. The next question comes from Urvija Shah from Isha Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I wanted to know how much debt is up for repayment in FY22?
It's approximately 200 crores.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. And thank you, sir. That was the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Sandeep Reddy for closing comments.
So thank you for joining us on our call today. I do hope that we have been able to satisfactorily address your queries. In case you have any pending or follow-on queries, please contact the team at Go India Advisors, and they will be able to address any questions you may have. Thanks for your support and time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Doorsabha's conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.